What is up, fellow benchwarmers? Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Benchwarmers. I'm your host, JJT, with Komish Eric. Komish,
Yes.
draft season has arrived. In fact, the preseason has started, so lots of interesting stuff going on, although most of the games are pretty lopsided. Uh, any first impressions? I know the one player we kind of got excited about is the rookie Jabari Smith. That's one player that pretty
Yeah.
much zoomed his stock right up there.
Well, if they were listening to us, I think they're not surprised already. I've been particularly very high on Jabari. I think this is going ahead of our topic because we're talking about sleepers and busts today, and Jabari is one of my biggest sleeper. I posted it a couple of days ago, and even during the draft, I said he's my favorite guy among the rookies. So the problem with him in the summer league was he didn't have a good summer league shooting wise. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you're watching summer league for the stats like 30 points, 10 rebounds, he didn't have those games where he had high scoring games. But when you watch it, he was so good defensively. He was so good defensively. And we know he could shoot. We know he has a stroke. It just wasn't falling for him. But the important part is the defense part, the steals, the blocks. And, surprisingly, the preseason, he didn't have any steal or block. But he shot the
That's
ball
why
well.
I was drafting in the slow draft, the the Locked On Fantasy Bowl, and I was asking Komish what stats does this Jabari Smith was giving, because he was right there among the top
He,
available players when I was picking.
I can say you can compare him to one Jonathan Isaac with offense. I think that's a great compliment, right? I mean that's
And
that's the ceiling.
and
That's
I
the ceiling.
watched
I see that.
and I watched some of his highlights. He's more fluid than
Yeah.
Isaac. He's more
Yeah.
he's not, because Isaac, when you watch him, he's a little bit awkward for his size, right? He's big, he's tall, he's long, but the way he moves, you could sense that he's not really as comfortable with the way he moves. He can't move so fast. He can't move too fast. But this guy, Jabari, is faster, athletic, more athletic than
Long.
Isaac.
He's as long as Isaac. His
Yeah.
his wingspan, he's also thin, quite thin. So, he's really a very lengthy
He's like
player.
a in between of KD and Jonathan Isaac. He's not as fast or as agile as KD, but he's not as, slow, I guess, as Isaac. But he's somewhere
Yes.
there in the middle.
Yes, yes. And he in college he showed good offensive skills. So that's why I wasn't that worried about his poor of summer league performance. Um, I think it will come. But then another thing is he's a young player. Young for a rookie, even as a freshman, he's young. He's a young player. So there's a lot of development still in his game. So aside from him, there are a lot of rookies already that already debuted preseason wise, like Tari Eason,
Yeah.
his teammate today, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Jeremy was asking, what kind of player is this guy? I can't really explain what kind of player he is. As all I can say is he's a player. He's good, and even in college, he's gonna show you if you give him the minutes that he can play. And if you compare him, it's like a turbocharged Jason Tate in a way, as a combo forward who's way better than Tate. It's like a rich version of Tate. But we did say that Eric Gordon is starting, the immortal Eric Gordon, who never seems to die. But we know he's injury prone.
Die
But
in terms of basketball sense.
yeah. But he's starting, and then according to reports, Jason Tate is in the second team, but he was injured, so he didn't play in the preseason game today. And then Tyree Eason got the backup small forward spot. If Eason plays like this, I really don't know how they can put him in the third team. Like what? I don't know how they could not put him in the rotation. But wait and see.
Yeah.
Wait and see. I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. All right, today's topic, I know that we got a little bit ahead of topic by mentioning Jabari Smith, but today we'll talk about some of the potential sleepers and bust
Yeah.
in Yahoo. I think just updated the rankings today,
Yeah.
so this
Yes.
is perfect timing for us to talk about those rankings and who could
Maybe
potentially bust theirs.
maybe you want to talk about the rankings first, and then the movers or the risers in the rankings a little bit.
Yeah,
And again, another thing that Yahoo did today that we have to talk about before the sleepers is the positions.
I think they're
It's
gonna change that. I think I saw a message from who- from Joseph that I think Yahoo said they're gonna fix that
but I
later
hope
on.
they don't, because Cade suddenly got a small forward position. Chris Paul got a shooting guard position. Luca got a small forward position. Kevin Love got a small forward position. So crazy, crazy.
Oh no, they're not gonna change it. I think um, Josh Lloyd kind of complained about the positional moves, but
Yeah,
Yahoo I think is said
there.
that position eligibility is determined by the combination of box score data, past performance outside websites that track positional data, and few of our trusted reporters. So changing
There's
certain trends may result in updating a player's eligibility. So I think that's not a mistake. That's the right.
but there's weird situations here that you could take advantage of, like Edwards as a point guard position. All of a sudden, Anthony Edwards, that's huge. I mean, in
Yeah.
building your team, if
I
you
mean,
got
in drafting, right?
yeah,
I mean, that's a
right.
major development.
Devin Booker now is point guard, shooting guard, small forward like Luka Doncic. Paul George got a small forward eligibility. Power forward, I mean, power forward eligibility. All the point guards, Chris Paul, Garland, Trey Young, they added shooting guard
Yanis
eligibility.
actually got a small forward.
Small forward. That's okay. But someone like Brad Beal getting a point guard eligibility is kind of weird. But again, it's gonna help you because it's now easier to build your team. If you're punting assists, you can get a guy like Beal who really isn't a point guard. Now he is given a point guard eligibility. So
Yeah.
insane. I don't know. I don't know how they'll, if this is gonna be what it is for the rest of the season. We have to adjust, and you
Yeah.
guys have to check one by one the players that we have just mentioned and the players down. We talked about Kevin Love getting a small forward eligibility, so this would be detrimental to players like let's say Sengun. He's only a center, right? So
Yeah.
those players who are only have one position will be harder to build around. But I don't know if I'm gonna drop them down or anything. It's just hard. Like Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield
No,
has
no,
point guard
it can go both
eligibility.
ways, right? It can go both ways. It's same good if you pick him and then you may pick some guys. Because I think from what I've seen, they've added more than they've removed eligibilities.
They've added
They've added
everybody.
a lot. So I think that helps pretty much everyone. So if you're gonna pick, like, it's going to be easier now to pick multiple players with just a center eligibility, right?
Yes,
Even if you have
that's
one
true.
center league, right? Because some of the centers were given power forward eligibility,
A
right?
lot. And most shooting guard. I haven't seen any shooting guard here who's just a shooting guard. Even Buddy Hield is a point guard now. So that's something. And Bojan Bogdanovic, by the way, has center eligibility all of a sudden. So there. That's
That's weird. Those stats are those eligibilities are weird. I mean, this is going to be difficult now for us because those eligibilities might have been a mistake. Some of those eligibilities might have been a mistake. So I guess and then later on they might remove them. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but that will be a problem if they remove them later on.
yeah, because you already you had to drafted with these things in mind. So
I
removing them would be hard, right?
yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, let's
Uh,
look into the rankings. I guess who moved, uh, who fell. Looking at the initial rankings, Harden I think moved, right. I think he was not.
Harden, he's sixth, right? He's sixth right now, right? Harden. I saw
He's
he's sixth.
projected. Isn't it? Am I looking at the right one? Projected is third. Not that's not the right one.
You have to look at the season
All right,
average,
season rank. Season rank.
season rank. Yeah,
All right, he's sick. He's sick. Okay, I
he's
was
sixth. I know LeBron. The top 12 basically is still there. Like
yeah.
Lillard moved up to 14. So that's basically Yahoo is late. Maybe they're listening to our podcast because we have this top 13 for from the beginning. This has been our top 13 to
Yeah.
14. Kyrie talked about Kyrie as obviously a first round pick per game, although of course not in totals. The weird thing here is they dropped LeBron. LeBron's now 22nd.
Yeah,
So
they did.
that's the big news out there. I think Kawhi moved up to 24. So among the top 30, I think it's LeBron, it's Kawhi. That's the biggest movers right now. Kawhi was 34th before
Yeah.
this, so now he's 24th. So LeBron and Kawhi 2 spots
Anthony Edwards also
difference.
moved up, right?
Yeah, Anthony Edwards continues to move up. I think he's top 20 already at this point. He's
Yeah.
19.
And he's
He's
actually
19.
his ADP I think is slowly moving up there. I mean, I've seen
Yeah.
him being picked at the turn of the early second round, uh, and that's where he is. And sometimes he's picked higher than Cade, which in earlier drafts wherein Cade was picked higher than Anthony Edwards.
They're a full round difference now based on rank. Cade is at 31 and Anthony Edwards at 19.
Who
So
do you
they're
think
they're
ends up higher though?
I like Cade this year. So I've been picking him as much as I can,
So at
as long as it's in the
31,
25 below 24 25 range. I like Cade Cunningham. So Cade is my bet to finish higher
yeah.
compared to Anthony Edwards.
So at
And
31, it looks like Cade is sleeperish
yes,
in that range.
I agree. The others we talked about. We talked about what will happen to Miles Turner, Aiton, now that Robert Williams uh, is injured. These guys will go up because you'll be looking for centers. Vucevic, Jarrett Allen, they moved up. Kristaps continues to move up. He's now 43rd. So these guys, I think this is because of the injury to Robert Williams and people adjusting, looking for safer bigs to target.
Robert
Somebody
Williams has moved to what? Where?
78, I think. Robert Williams is around 78. If I'm not
No, he's
mistaken, he's
not
in
even there anymore.
yeah, he's there, 78. He's 78 in the
Oh
ranks.
yeah, there.
He's
78.
78. So that is okay, talking about that position, yeah, I know Jeremy has mentioned this before. It's tempting when you get to that spot and then maybe even lower, and you see Robert Williams. Personally, I'm not that high on getting him even at this range, even at 80, 85. I'm
I
not
think
high.
Commish is in the I'm not touching him.
Maybe outside the 100, but I'm sure he's not gonna go there. He's not gonna last until there. But if in your draft somehow everybody's so scared and he's there past 100, yeah, I can see picking him there. But inside the 100, maybe 95, 96, okay, 90 is okay, but 78 still maybe not yet for me. I don't know about you. I know you. Okay, I shouldn't say
No,
I don't know
78.
about you.
I haven't really picked him at 78, but tempting to pick him at that spot. But I think I picked him at the 90s or early hundreds already when I had one chance to pick him up. So
Yeah,
not really at the 70s. And I don't pick up too much Robert Williams as well. I mean, not that every league I pick him up, right? So
yeah.
because of the injury worries. All right, let's talk
Okay.
about since we run through some rankings. Let's talk about some sleepers that you have. Are we gonna talk about sleepers first or bust? Let's talk about some sleepers
Any.
first.
Yeah, sleepers. Just to complete the rankings, right? Trey Jones keep on moving up. Is now 92nd. Julius Randle dropping to 103. That's surprising. And then Caruso and Anthony Melton moving up to 92. Caruso to 100. The Anthony Melton to 92. That's super high. So there. Basically, mostly those are Jalen Smith, don't forget Jabari Smith, they've fallen to 137 and 141 for whatever reason. Yahoo hates J Smiths, I think.
Or
Yahoo
maybe
hates J
they,
Smiths.
or maybe they, you know,
They have a bug.
no, they thought it was a different J Smith that they were ranking there.
But both of them are
Sleepers,
there, so I don't know.
sleepers for all right, I know this is rare first round. Anyone there in the early first year, first two rounds that looks like sleeper? I've asked this in Twitter. Uh, I know Jokic is the top player here. Is the top dog here. It's crazy not to pick him first, but somehow at the back of my mind, I've been thinking Jokic has been number one for what, 2 straight years, right?
Yeah, 2 straight years.
Now, usually I like to play the odds here. Like, what are the odds he makes it another year of being number one there? What do you think? Is it
Uh,
high, more on the high side, or
Still more on the high side. The problem, basically, to answer that question, it's what are the odds he gets injured? Right? That is it. Because if he doesn't get injured, he's gonna finish first. He's gonna finish first. I don't see how Giannis can suddenly score 80 to 85% free throw or whatever, or KD play 70 games or whatever. It's less probable. So I think if he stays healthy relatively, Jokic will finish first.
now
He's
who
been
has the best
healthy
chance to
of overtaking
unseat
him.
him? Yeah.
I would say KD. Rank wise, I'm saying rank wise. I think KD will have the best chance to unseat him because KD can rival Jokic uh, rank wise, stat wise, talent wise. The problem, of course, we're not talking about who would you pick first because uh, if you punt certain categories, there are certain players that would be, better. Like Giannis, of course, when you punt some categories, could be number one. But overall,
Yeah,
in a
over the nine cat.
nine cut, I think KD has a chance if he really, is motivated, stays healthy, plays 70 games maybe. He has a chance. He has a chance to unseat Jokic.
All
But
right.
again, what's the chances he stays healthy? That's the way to answer the question. He had a long summer this year, right? We know that he went to Eurobasket. He played. We I think there's a 30% chance he gets injured. I think there's a big I mean that's
Well, we're
big for
not
LG.
we're not hoping he gets injured, right?
No,
But
no, we're just saying.
we're just
Yeah.
saying, like I'm just thinking, for 2 years straight, he's been solid, unanimously the number one fantasy option. I think there's really no doubt about it. And the odds are, somehow, sometime, he'll be unseated by someone else. So, but
Yeah. Yeah. For
right.
sure.
So when that is, we don't know. But I'm thinking this might be the year that he gets unseated. But I couldn't find a player who can easily unseat him.
For me, it's still KD. So let's see. Let's see. For me, KD has the best chance, but 70% chance he finishes number one again.
Yeah.
Ask me again next season if that still happens and what do I think because Jokic fantasy dominance is not really unprecedented. That happened before also with certain players. So it's just his time.
Yeah.
Certain players before were also as dominant like Jokic.
As
Right?
dominant, but is the gap this far? I mean, last year the gap was really big.
Let me think. Was there any player? I think there was some seasons where the gap was really far. I'm not
Harden, I
really
guess,
sure if
those
that was
Harden
the
years.
Garnett era of KG. There was a
Mhm.
season with KG was really really
No,
far. But
The Harden one was, quite, you know,
yeah,
far too.
that's more recent memory. But this year it won't be that far. That's for sure. I'm sure it's not gonna be that big a gap. unlike previous years.
All right. Looking back, first few rounds, any sleepers there that you're looking at? I
They
know it's
adjusted it.
rare to find sleepers in the first couple of rounds, but there might be some guys there.
No, we talked about the way they dropped LeBron's AD ranking to 22nd. So now he becomes a sleeper if you get him at the at the 22nd spot, right? I mean,
Yeah.
sleeperish, not not really sleeper, but at that position is good. But aside from him in the top 25, let's talk about it that way. In the top 25 of this ranking, I see Paul George as the guy before,
Yeah.
because although they adjusted him also, he's now 17. But before this, sometimes he goes 20s, 21, 22. I just feel like he has a good chance of bouncing back and finishing in the top 14 or first round in 14 team leagues. So he's a guy I'm looking at among these 25 players.
Yeah, I actually see him as the guy that might be that has the potential to be a sleeper here. Of course, the other guys are so. I think there's more bust type players there than sleeper type. Let's talk about that later on. Let's look into the next batch. 26 to
25 to
50
50,
to 50.
26 to 50. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, Hard to find sleepers here. I know you like Beal, right? Am I
I like
wrong,
Beal.
or do you think
Beal, yes, 36. I know
I
that I don't expect him to jump to the first round, but at least that second round level with so much uncertainties there in the second round, I just feel like he can get there at 36. I think that's nice value already for me.
well, we disagree on that, as we've talked about it before. I feel like 30, he might beat 36. He could beat it easily, but not too far off. Maybe 30, 31. Maybe at those range for certain reasons, because of the depth in Washington, because of shooting problems, shooting woes, and aging, a little aging. I see a little change in his game, a little bit, but I may be wrong. I may be wrong. So that's two different perspectives. Zion, though,
Yeah,
Zion is a guy that I see as a
50.
big steal. 50, still too low. As we talked about in our mock drafts, or not mock drafts, in actual drafts, if you're punting free throws and you get Zion at 50 or maybe even lower, that is
And then
that's great.
let's
That's great.
not even just talk about the potential, but the physique that we've seen of Zion
The
looks like
picture.
he's ready. He's ready to go, right? It's just a matter of how much playing time he gets early on and throughout the season, because they might load manage him a bit, just because he is he is he came from an injury, a major injury. So, but 50 is still too low.
Too
Easy,
low. 50
easy.
is
I
too
think at the
low.
30s is easy. His peak was the second round, right? I mean, second round value 2 years ago.
Because because of the 2 years ago, because of the risk with Zion, I understand people not wanting to go in the 30 range in that second, maybe second or third. But I think this might be too low. He's one of the top field goal guys. I think the rebounds will be there. He's been shooting the ball quite well in scrimmages supposedly. So yeah, I think Zion is the guy here.
All right. So anyone else? I can't see anyone else being a
Well,
major sleeper here.
well, Chris Stapps was lower than 43rd before this new change, and I still feel like Kristaps has a ton of upside even at 43. I don't see much difference between him and Aiton and Turner or Vooch, except that he's injury prone.
Yeah.
If I mean, I would pick him over all of those guys in a heartbeat. If he can shoot threes, he can block, he can score. He looks good in Washington. It's just the injury. It's just the injury. But I think it's sleeperish if you can get him at 40 plus, right? That's good value. It's good value.
Is Gobert a sleeper at 32?
I don't think so. I think there would be, of course, a hit with Cat. and him entering Minnesota, a deeper team right now. So I don't think so. Plus the fact that I don't think he's available at 32.
He's not. He's not. That's why I'm
Never,
asking. At
never happened.
rank 32, would he be a sleeper there or not? Cade at 31. We touched about it.
Yeah, we touched on Cade already. So
Uh,
I think Cade.
yeah, but not too high of an upside. I mean, if he moved, he probably ends up somewhere in the 20s. I don't think he ends up there in the 14, 15. I think somewhere in the 20s would be
Yeah.
fair. Not that big of a, not like a Zion type whose upside is around the 20s also, but coming from the 50s. And he's, somehow being picked somewhere there, close. Sa 40s, not earlier than the 30s, I guess. So sleeper type. All right, 51 to 75.
This one's tougher because I really don't see anybody that's really very good value. Everybody is I see more busts here than than really good value. But yeah, I have nothing for you here. Maybe the guy that I feel like still has some value to squeeze is Potal. I mean, at 70, I feel he can go one round higher because I'm really high on him this year with San Antonio. Hope even if he gets traded, I hope he gets traded to a good position. No, but if he doesn't get traded, the better. I think Potal will have solid rebounds, solid blocks, and the field goal will be really good. So he's the only guy I see here. Not much else.
Yeah, I in this range though, I also kind of like Wendell Carter a little, but not really a sleeper type. But I think he can easily beat the 68 that he's ranked here.
I
He can inch his way closer to the 50, I think.
yeah. I mean, Wendell has a deep. I was reading an article about Orlando's situation, and they're trying different combinations because they have so many big men, and their coach Jamal mostly acknowledged that they have to mix and match and maybe play really big just to get these players minutes. So that is my concern with Wendell Carter compared to last year when there's no
Yeah, they're
Banquero.
deeper. Like we said, Orlando is in fantasy terms, they're quite a deep team.
Yeah.
Lots of players there that are pretty much rosterable.
Yeah.
Right. So that's up to
Don't get me wrong. I like Wendell. I'm just saying that at the position at 68, I think fairly priced already. Wagner even went up to 66, so just lost value already. The players here in this spot, little already right price. I think already
Yeah.
the right price.
So what's that? 75 to 100? Are we?
Now, no, 51 to 75. Now we're
51
going
to
to
7.
76
All
to
right.
100.
76 to 100.
Okay. In 76 to 100, the
I
guy
know.
is
I know a guy
between
that you probably would also say is a sleeper here. PJ
Mm,
Washington at
PJ at
93.
93. Yeah. PJ at 93. I like PJ a lot. Now that he even has a small forward eligibility.
Uh,
That's
Kyle
pretty good.
Lowry at 95.
Yes.
That's nice value as well for him. Ben Simmons at 83.
Yes. That's the guy I wanted to mention. Ben Simmons at 83. Ben Simmons, if you're, again, we have talked about punting certain categories. Not 3 points, just punting free throws, he's a top 40, top 30 in those builds.
Yeah.
And getting him this low at 83, that's solid value. So he's a definition of a sleeper at this point. If you build with the correct team for him. So he's a
Yeah.
definition of a sleeper.
And before last season, what was he? Top 50, right?
Now
Even
50.
with the
Yeah,
atrocious free throw shooting,
yes,
I think he
yes.
still places there in the top 50. He's somewhat like of a Zion, right? Somewhere, not good in free throws, but field goal is good. The rest of the stat set are pretty good for Simmons. It's just the free throws and maybe the turnovers, but yeah, 83 I think is low, but you know everyone's scared of Ben Simmons as well and how mentally ready he is. I guess that's the question mark for him.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Correct.
all right, so pretty much PJ, Kyle Lowry, Ben Simmons. Who
I
else?
like those three. I like Devin Vassell is here, but right now at 80s, I think even at 86, you can still. He was top 100 last year, remember, with the Jonte.
Yeah.
So he can still go higher than this rank wise, even if it's 86. But it's not as good as before, where he was even lower. So there's still some value to squeeze there. There's still some value to squeeze.
Yeah. All right. 100 to 125.
100 to 125. Here we see Julius Randle, number one, 103. I know. I
That's
said I don't like.
surprising.
No, I know. I said I don't like Randle, but that was when he was being picked at the 60s or the 70s. He's 103. This is this is way too low. I mean, yeah, I know the problems with Randle. I said I owned him a lot last year, but if you tell me I can get him past 100, yeah, sure, I'll take him. He'll still go score 20 plus points and 9 rebounds. He can pass. Remember, even if Brunson is there, Randall will still get his share. So that's. Don't you agree? I mean,
What's
103
your
for
yeah, yeah, 103 is low. I mean, what's your
really low.
fair value for Randall?
There's a lot in this range. I mean, we talk about although Hayward's injured, right?
No, I mean, what's your fair value for Randall? What's
80. 80 is my
80?
favorite fair value. Maybe 75 I'll be okay. 75 to 80.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
that
around 30
75 to
spots.
80, you'll
Yeah.
probably still think about picking him, but
Yeah.
might have a little doubt still, right? But past that, that's good value already for Randall. So you were saying other players,
We
Hayward.
we we talked we talked about
Hayward's injured.
Hayward. Hayward has knee
He's injured again.
contusion. Yeah, he banged his knees. Not gonna play in their preseason. Didn't
So
play
does
in their
that change
preseason.
your mind?
Well, according to reports, it's a minor injury, and he's very angry at the team
Holding him
for
out.
yeah, for not letting him play. But still, that's just just as uh, a reason why he's maybe this low. So maybe I'll not put him in the sleeper list. But Laurie Markkinen at 108,
Yeah,
I
that's a
think he should
sleeper.
be. Yeah, I think he should be top 100.
Yeah.
Wait until he gets a center eligibility. So far, they haven't given him that, but that's sleeper. Jamal
And
Murray, we have
and
talked
his
about him a
his
lot.
and
Yeah, go.
Markkinen will slowly as the preseason goes and as he plays during the preseason, he'll slowly move up there. I think to the 70s, to the even as high as the 70s, I guess. 70 range.
Yeah, and then we talked about Jamal. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about him a lot of times. I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, when we were doing our first few drafts, I think he was around 80, 75, 80.
Yeah, I don't know why he dropped.
Now he's dropping to 111. And at that time, we were talking about him as possible a Pascal Siakam situation at that point, so getting
Yeah.
him at 80, 85, and then he might finish top 50 if he stays healthy. This is 111. I mean, if you get him at 111, even if he's not the old Jamal that he is, I think he's gonna beat this easily. So,
Yeah, I think,
yeah,
worst case scenario for him, not Pete Jamal, because Pete Jamal was top 50, right?
yeah.
Not Pete
And look who's
Jamal, probably top 80. Still easily beat that 30 spots up.
before him. I mean, he's Russell Westbrook, Isaiah Stewart, and then who's after him? Bones Highland.
He's
His
back up.
backup is, I mean, that's I don't know. I don't know why they put him here, but he's definitely a top 100, top 90.
They
Even
moved
top
him
50.
down. They moved him
They
down.
moved him down
I don't
for
think
some
he was
reason.
this low.
Yes.
Um,
So he's a sleeper now. Sleeper now. And I also like Brook Lopez. Yeah, people will say Lopez who? Lopez who? What did he do last year? He didn't do much last year, but before last year he played 80 plus games. So although before he had seasons where he played only 10, 5 games, he got injured. There are seasons he played all 82 games. So it's extremes with him. But at 120, you can get his threes and blocks there. I think that's very solid value at 120. If you pick him there at the 120 range,
yeah.
that's good value. That's very good value.
I also like Norm Powell at the 120 range. I mean, he's 119. He's there at 120. I just feel like, we're overlooking him here given the depth of uh, the Clippers, but I still feel like I've been thinking about the Toronto Norm Powell, where he's also the sixth man there. He's not really the top guy there, but he still contributed a lot during those times. So I think 120 is still a little low for I
Yeah.
can he has the potential to get just inside the top 100, just inside. I'm not expecting him to go top 80, top 90. The 90 to 100 range, I think, is feasible for Norm Powell. Just my take.
And another player here is KPJ. I know we hate on KPJ like a Russell Westbrook kind of player, but he has shown, especially late last year, that he can be valuable in 9 cat. Roto may be really gonna hurt you, but in 9 cat, in certain builds, he's valuable. He's 105, and if you have certain players already picking him at that this position, you're gonna get, today he had 3 steals, he had 6 assists, I think, in only
Yeah.
20 minutes. So the field goal will be bad, but if you're not thinking of field goal, turnovers, I don't care. But field goals, if you're not thinking much of field goals, I think this is a very, very low rank for KPJ.
All right. So 126 to 150. We're moving in just batches, so it's easier for you to follow.
Mm-hmm.
126 to 150. Any sleepers there?
Well, we talked about Jabari, 137. We talked about Jalen Smith, 142. I think that's self-explanatory. I don't think we have to deal with it, talk about it too much. But
Yeah.
JJJ at 147, he's falling and falling and falling. What's your take on that?
147 is a little too low, but I
Yes.
understand why. But he's not being picked at 147. I think at times he's being picked within the top 100, top 120. 147 is too low. You're right. He's
Yes.
too low. He has the potential to return. When did he have his surgery? July? I
Yeah.
last I counted was July, so he'll be back hopefully by January.
Yeah. I mean, I think worst case is January. So if you get him 147, that's almost, I don't know, in a 12-team league,
I
that's
think
almost.
JJJ and Robert Williams will probably be close together. They'll come back pretty much at the same time.
I think JJJ should come back earlier though. I
No,
put
his
Robert
is
Williams
six
to three
months.
months.
Yeah, Robert
Robert
was.
Williams to 3 months. I put Robert Williams to 3 months, so it might be until February, I think.
No, he had surgery September.
Late September, yeah, October, November, December, January. Maybe, but I don't trust Robert Williams coming back that early and being in shape. But JJJ looks like he's in good spirits, so I think he might be earlier a little bit. And then at 147, that's basically round 12 in
Yeah.
12 team leagues. So that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. I think he's a steal at this point, even if
Uh,
he's injured.
Cam Johnson at 136. If you know they still couldn't find a trade partner for Jay Crowder, although like we said, there's the risk there of him not starting later on if they get another power forward back. But given
I
the
like it.
current situation, 136 I think is
Too
quite
low.
low. Yeah,
Yes.
quite low for him.
I
Uh,
like it. I like that. I like that spot for him at
yeah.
at 136. But he didn't look good today. The whole team didn't look good, but
Well,
especially
yeah.
him. But especially him. He seemed lost. His shot wasn't there. I don't know if it's gonna help him a lot. I mean, he's gonna beat 136, but don't pick him too high. Don't pick him in the top 100. I think.
He's being picked to the
Um,
top 100, I think, or just
some
outside, just outside.
just outside. I still feel like, don't go overboard with him, because not because he's a starter, he's all of a sudden gonna be top 60, 70 or whatever. I think Mikal Bridges, we forgot to mention him a while ago. I think he's the guy that I see certain big improvement this year over instead of Cam Johnson. I think Mikal is the guy that will
Yeah,
will suddenly become,
he played
a
well
higher
today. I
usage.
mean, he's
Yeah, higher
probably the
usage
guy that played well.
guy. Yeah. Then
151 to 175. Let's go until 200, I think. 200 will find value. And then
Another guy a
just
while ago was Nick Claxton. So he's a guy that people can consider 126. I think he's just at the right position already. That there will be some sleeper value there, especially he punting free throws again. Can give you 10 rebounds, 1.5 to 2 blocks a game. So I think Claxton is no brainer bet already at that position. 120s. So that's a good value here at 151.
Dorian Finney-Smith at 131. I like that too.
Yeah, he's your favorite. But it seems like you're the only one who really likes him. Because he's always gonna be
131.
available. I
131.
mean,
He's good. I mean,
he's a roto guy though. He's a roto guy.
yeah, yeah.
But in 9 cat, yeah, I won't again, as I said, if you pick Dorian Finney-Smith, he's not gonna hurt you. He's gonna help
He's
you
not.
here and there.
Yeah.
But there's no one category that you could say that, hey, I have Dorian Finney-Smith, so I'm good here, or he's gonna help me
Yeah.
here. He's just
Well,
gonna help in
at
all
that
categories.
at that range, it's hard to find that one person. Well, maybe there are a few, but not there's no one really as elite as the earlier guys, I guess.
Yeah, but again, that kind of situation, that kind of player fits Roto more. So I hope in your Roto draft you will pick him because you've been picking him in head-to-head every draft. So
No,
you
not
should
every draft. I think I just only have what, two?
almost.
Almost.
So don't forget to pick him in Roto because that's where he really gonna help you. He's
Yeah.
really gonna help you a lot. Now in this 151 to 175 range, Isaiah Jackson is the first guy I see.
Yeah.
152. I mean, I don't know what this Indiana Bigs did to Yahoo, but that's too low. I mean, I know Miles Turner is
No, because
there. I know
Master,
Jalen
yeah,
Smith.
Master.
But still, 152, he's, even if he plays 20, 15 to 18 minutes, he's gonna beat 152 easily. That's that's a sleeper. That's a
But
sleeper.
right, that's clearly a sleeper, Isaiah Jackson, because just the blocks alone could just move him up closer to that 100, top 100, right? Not maybe not make it there, but top 120 could be easy for him. Now, some interesting names here. James Wiseman, just
Yeah,
okay.
he continues to impress in preseason. I just don't know how many minutes he's gonna play. I mean, I don't know the rotation. I don't know if he's gonna get enough to really matter. So yeah, late round, last round, okay, but I don't see him as a sleeper really.
All
Not
right.
yet, not this year.
Chris
Yeah.
Boucher, who had a
Nah,
double today.
yeah, but no thanks.
Don't
Nah.
don't you think this might be it? I mean, 155.
Uh, there's just too much. There's so many mouths to feed there. He's not gonna start. I know he's gonna
Yeah, he's
get,
not. He's never started. I mean,
but
he's never started for a long time, right? I mean, he's not really the regular starter.
let's look at the rotation today. Siakam, Mobley, and who's the other guy? Not Mobley, Barnes.
Barnes.
Siakam, Barnes, and OG. Okay, and then they have Achua off the bench. They have Todd Young off the bench. Otto Porter is out with hamstring problems or groin problems for a while, so that at least removes one problem. So Boucher will get minutes. I know he can get minutes, but is it enough? I mean, if he gets 14, 15 minutes, or if he gets 20 minutes one day and then 10 minutes the other day, it's the same Boucher. You'll be inconsistent. You'll have, if he plays 20 minutes because of foul trouble or whatever, whoever injured, then you pick him up. But then if he's suddenly they're healthy or, the matchups
You're
are
gonna
not
drop
good, he
him
gets
again.
10 minutes and you drop him again. So it's the same situation. So I can't say he's a sleeper or he's a good value at this point. He's going to be in and out of FA, of the free agency. So, yeah.
All right, here's a couple of names. Jalen Suggs at 172. I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
like that.
sleeperish.
Yes, I like that. I like that even higher than Jaden Ivey. Some people are getting Ivy over Suggs because Ivy's the rookie, so maybe there's the unknown there. But Suggs, I think, as a sophomore, might have that improvement, hopefully, from a nightmarish rookie season. So I think if he shoots a little 5% better, his ranking last season would have jumped way, way high because he can defend. He can
Yeah.
steal, So yeah, I like I like Suggs there. I like
Also,
Williams' position.
the absence of faults early in the season
Yeah.
definitely would help his fantasy value. Another guy, Clarkson.
No. Maybe Ayo. Maybe Ayo. I see Ayo there at 159. Clarkson, he's gonna be coming off the bench. Like today, he came off the bench. Just gonna be points. He's an empty guy. I mean, ever since an empty stats guy,
Yeah.
mostly points, some threes. Nothing fancy in nine cat. So no, Ayo is better. I think if you're looking for someone to bet on.
Yeah, Ayo. I also like Ayo a lot, especially if you need some assists later on in the draft. Like we said, assists are not really. There's really not much players who can give you that type of stats. Um, s- Anyone else? 176 to 200.
There's another guy there, last guy, Pat Williams. I posted about him. Some people say he's a sleeper, a late round flyer. I really not sure because I don't really see anything from this guy except the hype, except the
Except
intrigue,
that
the
he could
mystery.
start. He could start.
He
I
will
think
start.
that's fine. Right?
Yeah, he will start. But what will he do when he starts? We don't know. Last season though, late last season he did well. So uh late pick, last pick, yeah, sure. You can go try and see what he has, what he can do. There. Pat
Basically,
Williams.
not many home run guys here. I think the best option for you here would be Isaiah Jackson. Not really a
Mm,
home run, but at least top 120.
yeah.
Maybe Suggs. I think those are the two
Yes.
guys there
Yes.
that are really of really great value. 176 to 200.
I have
I
only
see
one guy
Kevin
here.
Love.
Ah, yeah, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. Yes, small forward eligibility, but nah, I don't want to talk about Love anymore. We know what he can
Poku. I
do.
know who you're talking about. Poku.
No, Poku is okay, but I've never really been picking him aggressively. I think Damian Jones, no, for the Lakers at 197. He's supposedly the starter. He's playing with the starters. The Darvin Ham has talked about starting him. In their scrimmage, he was taking 3-point shots, making them. He can block. I think Jones is a little under the radar still as a late big pick. So I like that. I like Jones here.
Yeah, there's really not much names here in the maybe in the 175 to 200.
Zach Zach
Anyone?
Collins, Zach Collins of the Spurs, I think is a guy to
Not really
monitor.
a sleeper, yeah, but someone you could watch out for. If
Yes.
there's one player who might have the chance to be a sleeper, that's him. But at this point, there's just so many unknowns there with San Antonio as well. But Zach Collins
Yeah.
did well last year when he played some few games, right? Outside the 200, anyone you look
Here,
at there?
right away, the two Utah centers, Walker Kessler at 211.
Yeah.
Who? And I don't know why he has power forward eligibility. This guy never played power forward, but okay, Yahoo, we hear you. And then Kelly Olynyk at 219. Kelly started today. Kelly might start, but I don't really care. I think that's good for Kelly. If he gets 25 minutes, he's in a rebuilding team. He has shown he can contribute. So yes, Kelly is somebody that's viable. But Walker Kessler, I think if is now outside 200. If you can get him last pick with this ADP, yeah, still good, still okay, even if he comes off the bench.
Not really a sleeper, but I think Nasser Little can easily beat 222. If depending on the role, not really a sleeper because we don't know what role he plays. Because, like we
Mm,
said, that small forward position is still up for grabs, right? Who we don't know who will start. Would it be Josh Hart or would it be Little or would it be somebody else? But if Nasser Little starts and Lillard has been hyping him up as well, he could get some good value. So at 222, I think we have to watch out for that. Who else?
no, that's it. If you want, the others are rookies that
Pat
I am
Bev,
high on. Pat Bev, yeah,
233.
somebody to also consider late in the draft. He's okay. He's okay. The others are rookies. The others are, I think, rookies that have a chance. Jeremy Sochan, I don't know how to pronounce his name, from San Antonio today showed his, what he can do. One steal,
Mm-hmm.
3 blocks. Again, this is what this guy will do. So, he continues to do that. Taibul was very popular before. I don't see why Sochan will not be popular if he continues to get 1 steal, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 1 block, even if he doesn't score, which he doesn't score much.
Yeah.
So we have another Taibul in our hands. So he's another guy that you can consider.
All right.
Sochan.
Let's talk about bust now.
Yeah, bust.
And let's move it instead of by 25s, let's maybe go by 50 so it will
Yeah.
be faster. Um yeah, any bust at the top part, 1 to 50.
Well,
I
there are a
see a
lot.
lot in the first couple of rounds that could be bust here. Um who-
I'm not gonna talk about the injury risk anymore. I guess let's be
yeah, let's
fair.
assume that
Yeah,
everyone's,
let's assume everybody's healthy.
healthy.
When I see some players here that I think could be bustable.
I,
But in
I
the top two,
I
who's
think,
your guy?
at 19, I don't think Anthony Edwards is there yet. He has the potential, but I don't think at this point, he's there. He's top 19 fantasy wise.
I agree, but I don't think it's gonna be a bust because he's not gonna be far off there. So I think it's just
20s, late 20s, I guess.
yeah. CJ though, CJ McCollum at 47. I don't like that they put him that high. Especially with Zion healthy and everybody healthy. A little too high for me. A little too high. But bust really, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I did say that Chris Paul is more of a value at 30 than a bust. I
Yeah.
just don't like. I'm just gonna say that I don't like the vibe and the aura in Phoenix. But we're not faith healers, spirit warriors here. But that's the only reason I'm kind of iffy of Chris Paul really at 30s because of the vibe I see in Phoenix. Like the game a while ago, they're like lifeless. They're something off with the team, and it could
Uh,
easily implode. And that
they,
might hurt.
yeah, and they might not have recovered yet from that game 7 loss.
Yeah,
I'm not too sold on. Did Scotty Barnes end top 50 last year?
close. Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, maybe. Initially, I wasn't really sold at 45. I just feel he's still outside that. But yeah, maybe if he finished close to top 50 last year, there is a chance he gets that. I think there's a bigger chance he gets that than not getting it. So pretty much that. I can't see anyone else here who could be a bust.
Yeah.
Top the next batch 51 to 100.
Well, Tobias, I guess we both agree is too high at 59. There's
Mhm.
no reason for him to be picked that high. Go for Mikal, go for MPJ, go for even, Collins over Tobias. I think you agree with that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then Jeremy Grant, we talked about him. 70, what is he? 74. Still
yeah.
too high for me. I think, with Nurkic, with Lillard and Fernie Simons, he's not gonna get the same star treatment in Portland as in Detroit. More of like a Denver situation, and he was top 100 then, not top 75, top, close to the top 70. So I think that's a little busty kind of a situation.
Um, Keldon at
Yeah, then
67. I, I'm not too sold really on Keldon, to be honest. That's why I don't like it at 67.
they went too high. They went too high with
I
Keldon.
think
I think he's gonna. I
top
think he's gonna
80,
be. Yeah, I think he's
90.
gonna be top 80. I still think he's gonna be top 80, but I'm worried about number one. He's injured, although it's minor. He's supposedly gonna be ready for opening day, but I think he's gonna come out slow because of the injury. That's gonna affect the ranks. And
Yeah.
then number two, I think if they tank, he might be one of the guys that they rest early because he's sort of the veteran already, even if he's just in his third or fourth year, right?
Mhm.
So Lots of risk there for Keldon.
Yeah. Jordan Poole at 63. I'm not sure if
Yeah, I don't like that also. That's
that's
too
too
high.
high for me.
That's
I
too
mean,
high.
he's still going to be the sixth man, although I think the assumption here is that he might play more minutes and Steph
Still
and
too high.
Clay might be load managed. But I think more of the 80s still for me on
Yeah.
Jordan Poole. Uh, yeah. Well, Clay, do you think
Clay
he's
also.
69?
Yeah, 69 is a little high also for me. Clay.
Uh,
And then the others we talked about, Melton and Caruso, 92 and 100. No way I'm gonna take them there. The others are just okay. I don't see anybody that's really a big bust here. We're not talking about injury prone guys because if some of these guys like Mitch Robinson, Capella, or somebody
yeah.
gets injured, then obviously there'll be busts. But you all know the risk with these guys. Just talking about being healthy, those guys we mentioned are the guys I think could be bust in this range.
Another player, Simons, I also don't like this. I mean, 98 might be okay, but I just feel like, he doesn't offer much.
Yeah, but at this point that he's going to the 98 level, I actually like that already. I think that's okay. That's okay. Before he was going way higher. So now that he's at 98, I think it's not bust levels anymore.
All right. 101 to 150. Russell Westbrook.
Well, yeah, I still don't like Westbrook even at this range 109. That's that's still 200 spots too high, I think, for Westbrook. Conley, no way. No way I'm taking Conley this year at 116, no way.
I can see
Uh,
people still taking him, sometimes with
uh
close to that 100 or just inside the 100. But
yeah,
yeah, no, no, no.
Tyus Jones, no way he's in the 122. I mean,
He's not even being drafted.
yeah, at least some people are smart that, I don't care if you put him at 122. That's a bust if you get him at 122. Unless Ja Morant gets ACL or whatever, knock on wood. But no, that's not gonna happen. Caris LeVert, 138. I'm not interested either. Field goal,
Levert
poor
started
field
though.
goal. What?
He started, right? I mean, he's part. I saw scrimmages by the way.
Yeah, he's gonna be part of the rotation, but he's not gonna be. His game is not fantasy friendly to begin with. Now you put him at a team that has Donovan, that has Garland, that has so many other options. He's gonna be forgotten in that in that rotation. He's gonna get minutes, but he's not gonna do enough to really help your team.
Yeah,
I
this
think.
is Benedict Maturin, 139.
Well, that's good value. I mean, he's a rookie that can score. He can score. I don't think that's a bust. Uh, as a
No,
rookie,
I
he
didn't mention him because he's a butt. I just mentioned him because it might be people might not know him as much. Why is he ranked 139 over players like Jaden Smith, or like we said, Jaden Smith is more of a slipperish type of, but other name players, right? Although Maturin has been very, very popular among experienced managers, he's been being picked anyway.
yeah. I think we can't say anybody else as bust because we're already at the 150s. I don't
Yeah,
think you can consider someone bust if you pick him that low, right? So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, those are our sleepers and bust. Uh, so far for the rankings, I know the rankings would still change, can still change. Lots of things can happen. In fact, during the preseason games, a lot of these, wouldn't really matter much because I'm sure there'll be some players that would be very hyped when you see them. Now the question is, when we watch some preseason games, will it stick or is it just flukish? So that's what we're probably going to talk about in the next few weeks. All right, that's it for this sleepers and bust episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helped. And we'll see you guys again on the next episode. Bye, guys.